Hello, and welcome to your spiritual journey. Right now, your soul is speaking to you. I'm Jenny Israel, and I'm a medical intuitive, energy healer, spiritual activator, counselor, and teacher. It is my mission to help you learn the tools you need to heal your life and discover your deeper purpose. In each episode, I will allow Spirit to speak through me, and we will explore energy forecasting, teach you how to raise your vibration for overall wellness, increase your emotional intelligence to open up joy in your life, and guide you into spiritual evolution using topics such as energy healing, emotion code, sacred geometry, numerology, tarot, crystals, channeling, and much more. Take a deep inhale, let it out, and listen to your soul speak to you. I'm very excited to talk about this and share it with everybody. And the cool thing about this is that regardless of whether you have time to stay on, it's not going to matter. When it comes to the esoteric healing systems, there is no such thing as time or space. So no matter how many times you watch this or when you watch it, you are going to receive the healing, just like you were on with me live. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've wanted to do this for a long time. I'm not quite sure why I never have. I'm not sure if there was resistance about it before. I think that it's all just been a belief system for me since I was introduced to the Seraphim Blueprint, that this is something that you are guided to. It is definitely a personal call. And I think that that's why this is something that is kind of one of the best kept secrets inside the spiritual circles. It's interesting to me that more people haven't learned about the Seraphim Blueprint and haven't heard about it. And I think that right now, moving into this age of Aquarius energy, the ascension of the planet and just the awakening of humankind, that there is no better time than now to talk about Seraphim Blueprint. And right inside the name, we can get started right with that. The Seraphim are the highest choir of angels. They are considered basically sitting right next to God. They are all the way at the top of the choirs. And they are really the main project managers of all of our finite universe. And so there is one particular Seraphim angel that is in charge of the Seraphim Blueprint. And the word blueprint pretty much says it all. Inside of the structure of the Seraphim Blueprint, it is said that we have all of the secrets to our mortal existence and our connection of that mortal existence with our infinite being of God. And so what's very interesting about the Seraphim Blueprint is that this is not the first time. As far as our matriarch of our system, she considers herself the rechanneler of the system. Her name is Ruth Rendley, and all of this information is online. You can go on to the seraphimblueprint.org to learn more about the courses themselves, learn about Ruth, and there's also the book. The book is great. It is something, if you are interested in the Seraphim Blueprint, I would recommend getting the book. It's a very interesting read. It's a combination of the kind of the biography or autobiography of Ruth and her journey into this, as well as talking about the system itself, how it was channeled and where it came from, and its whole creation story, basically. But I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes today. And we're going to talk about the channeling information that came through for Ruth and the gentleman that she was working with at the time that was helping bring the Seraphim Blueprint in. And what the Seraph was communicating to them is that this system had been around for over 13,000 years. And that, in fact, one of the first groups to receive these attunements and receive this information from the seraphic level were the Atlantean priests. So just a little bit about Ruth. Ruth is an academic. and she's very gifted spiritual teacher and has lots of psychic gifts. But above all, she has always been an academic. And so inside of that, the way that her mind works, I think that one of the coolest things about Seraphim Blueprint, and that Ruth was the one to bring this through, is that she's incredibly intellectual. She's very intelligent. She has multiple degrees and PhDs. And she also came from a Jewish background, but didn't fully connect with it. So she was kind of this open canvas to receive a system that could actually be looked at in a very balanced way, because she was skeptical and she liked research, and she liked, to have things substantiated for her. But yet she did live in the land of the mystical as well. She was trained inside of transcendental meditation for many decades. So she's just a really interesting person to get to know. And she's got some videos out there that she's done over the years. If you go through the Seraphim Blueprint and decide that you want to be a teacher of it, then you do actually get to learn directly from her, which was an incredible experience as well. But when this information came through and she was told that this originally was channeled during the Atlantean time, she was kind of like, okay. But she went ahead and received this information. And the more the structure came through and she started to receive these attunements, the more she started to believe it, and the more it started to make sense to her. So in Atlantean times, the way that this was coming through as they were channeling it, they started to realize that it had the structure of the tree of life, and the tree of life as we know it inside of the Kabbalah. Okay. So there's 10 waveforms that are inside the Kabbalah tree of life that creates kind of the tree, or the ladder of ascension, or the ladder of development, the ladder of purpose, inside of our mortal existence as it connects to our infinite. So some of you might be familiar with this image. This is the Kabbalah tree of life, is what they call it. And basically, I'm just going to read it right from my notes here. The Kabbalah is the esoteric method, discipline, and school of thought inside of Jewish mysticism. It explains the relationship between the unchanging, eternal, and unified God and the mortal, finite universe. It is the primordial blueprint for creation's philosophies. So obviously the Jewish mystics came much later, right? So what Ruth and her counterpart at the time started to realize was that this was something that had been around for a really long time, and that the inhabitants of Earth had been given a few opportunities to bring this blueprint in order to help with our spiritual evolution, to basically come into our full potential inside of this existence, inside of our mortal form, but how that connects to our unified God. Okay, so this is, as we think of it, what is my purpose in being here? What are the secrets to life? What are my gifts and talents? What are my entitlements as a child of God? And how can I live to my fullest potential and have the happiest, most purpose-filled life? Okay, so the whole idea inside of the Kabbalah structure is that if you follow these basic stages of life inside of these waveforms, as they're called, then you climb the ladder to ascension and to a fulfilled and purposeful life. So there's 10 waveforms in the original Kabbalah tree of life, or this Atlantean cosmological collection of energies that they actually built their whole organized existence around, is what the channeled information was saying. So the Seraphim Blueprint includes 11 major waveforms, or 11 major energies. And the reason why I'm using the word waveform is because it's more than just an attunement that's coming through your channel. The structure of the energy that's coming into your channel has its own independent form, its own wavelength, which means inside, when we look at quantum science, quantum physics, and we look at the study of sound and the study of frequency and waves, right? So there is form that comes from sound waves. I encourage you to, on your own time, go Google Nigel Stanford cymatics, cymatics, cymatics. There are videos out there that show you, they put sand or rock salt onto an amplifier and they change the sound wave that's coming through using amplifiers and synthesizers. And you will watch the salt or the sand change shape on the top of the amplifier as they are playing different tones. So a wavelength actually has structure within it, even if the naked eye can't see it without that kind of a synthesized tool, right? So there is sacred geometry, building blocks to our existence inside of every single wavelength that you are receiving inside of the Seraphim Blueprint. And the idea is that it actually wakes up these original DNA blueprint building blocks that we all have inside of our mortal existence that allows us to be the most divine being that we can be here inside of our earthly realm and come into our full potential of all of the things that we can do inside of these bodies and the way that they were designed. And the process of the way that the Seraphim Blueprint came in for Ruth and the way that it was designed is very much like a ladder. You're introduced to waveforms in a very specific and strategic way, like building a house. And she uses that analogy inside of her book. She talks about starting with the foundation, those foundational energies where it all starts. And those are the energies you're going to get to experience today. There's two waveforms inside of Seraphim Blueprint Level 1 that are there's a life force energy and there's a harmonizer. And just inside of the Level 1 class and these two waveforms that you are receiving, you have the ability to access the body-mind connection and the universal life force and our life force within and how our body channels that life force in order to do self-healing, but you can also use it for others. It does open your channel and allow you to do healing for others, distance healing for others, hands-on healing for others. But I want to reinforce something very, very important about Seraphim Blueprint. And this was something that I did not understand until I actually started my Seraphim Blueprint journey back in 2014. I was introduced to Seraphim Blueprint a year and a half before that. And when the book was given to me, it was just something I put on the shelf. And I was like, I don't need another healing system. I have Reiki. I've already been attuned to that. I'm actively using it. I don't need another healing system. I didn't realize at the time that this is so much more than that. The Seraphim Blueprint is the path to your own personal spiritual evolution inside of your highest potential. And it's like a VIP shot. It's like flying first class. You get to do it in a systematic way that just starts unlocking the body and things start to happen. I mean, you can talk to other people inside of the Seraphim Blueprint community outside of me. I'm the mouthpiece right now, right? And I'm teaching a class in a few weeks. So you could very easily say, well, she's a teacher and she wants to fill her class. And yes, part of that is true. But why did I even choose to teach this in the first place? It was because it changed my life. And I finally decided to try this. And it was not what I expected at all. I expected it to be another layer of Reiki, right? And because that's what I knew. That was kind of my reference point. And it was not. Level 1 felt very similar to Reiki, but the way the energies were coming into my channel was not like anything I had ever experienced in my life. I had experienced the trickle-in of the Reiki life force. And for those of you who are meditators, who channel life force energy, even if you're not a healer, it doesn't matter. If you felt the vibration of life force coming down into your crown and down into your body, you know what I mean. There's this activation that happens on the top of the head near the crown, where the crown channel is, the crown chakra, where you almost get this tingling on your scalp as that starts to open to receive. This was like having a spotlight on the top of my head. And you know those big spotlights that they put in the parking lots of, like, when they're trying to sell cars, or like the grand opening of a new casino, and they shoot all the way up into the atmosphere? That's what this was like, compared to the little trickle and the tickle of these other things that I had experienced previously. That was my first indication that there was something very different going on here. So the minute that I felt that energy, I knew that I wanted to go all the way through this, but not all the way through just levels 1 through 6. I wanted to teach this because I felt how profound this was. And in true fashion to my personality, being a double Aries, super fire, all head, drive forward, not really thinking about the consequences, I decided to just plow through these levels. I did it in super speed because I wanted to get into the teaching round that was happening in November of 2014. So I started my journey at the end of February 2014, beginning of March, and I graduated levels 1 through 4 teaching in November of the same year. So looking back now, I understand what happened, but my tower didn't just fall. I literally put TNT dynamite at the foundation and blew it up. Seraphim Blueprint works in such an amazing way, all into itself in a rapid condition, without me having to actually layer them on top of each other. I had no idea. I really didn't know the impact that this would have on my life. But I watched systematically as every single part of my life fell apart and rebuilt itself. And why? Because through the Seraphim Blueprint ladder, I raised my vibration at such a rapid pace and by such an exponential level that my relationships, my job, my work, my health, everything changed. Everything changed. And by 2016, when I was really ready to start teaching this, all of my structures had fallen into place. My gifts had blown wide open. My medical intuition came in. My healing channel blew open. It was like all of a sudden, all my gifts, all my clairs started to come in. I do attribute a lot of the work that I do today and the gifts that I have and my ability to connect with those energies. I do attribute a lot of that to my Seraphim Blueprint journey. And anybody that you know that may have gone through this is going to tell you the same thing. They're going to tell you that their experience of the Seraphim Blueprint absolutely changed their lives. And there's no reason to be scared. There's no reason to be scared of this. I've learned, right, by doing it the way that I did. And so the way that I teach my classes, I leave plenty of time in between these levels. So you have time to practice, you have time to integrate, and you have time to move with the changes that Seraphim Blueprint brings into your life. Okay. So I know that change can be scary, but this is just, Seraphim Blueprint does this amazing thing of dismantling all of the things in your life that are old, low vibrational or ancient history in your ancestry and starts bringing it all to the surface. So now you can clean it out for good and bring your average up to a place that is a much higher level of consciousness than where you were before. And so level 1 offers you these 2 wavelengths. And inside of level 1, you also get some pretty cool things that you can use inside of your daily lives. And like I said, you can also use it for others. But bringing it back to this idea that this is for personal development. You do not need to be a professional healer to go through the Seraphim Blueprint journey. It's not about getting a certification to hang a shingle out and say, I did this thing and I'm certified to do this thing because my piece of paper says it. This is for you. This is you saying, I am ready to level up and this is calling to me. And this is something that is so sacred and so yours that you don't have to share it with anybody else. It can just be for you. And it will unfold itself and unpack itself inside of your life with the highest good for you and for the collective. Because the Seraphim Blueprint grid is global now. We're on 4 continents. We have teachers all over the world. And think about that. These points of light that have locked into this blueprint system. This is what's anchoring on the planet now. And this is seriously what gives me hope every single day, no matter what we are going through, that these points of light are waking up on the planet every single day. And that there is this amazing angelic grid that has been created on our globe that's actively being used each and every day by the thousands of people around the world that are activating their Seraphim Blueprint attunements and using them for themselves or for others, or both. And so you get to become a part of this Seraphim Blueprint grid that's on the planet. And so inside of level 1, each person will get what's called an opener. So this is my opener. You can see it's a little egg shape. Still haven't exactly figured out what this is. Some sort of agate, I'm sure, or jasper. But everybody gets one. And so when you complete your level 1, Ruth gets your name, first and last, and she channels the Seraph. The Seraph chooses your opener for you. And then it gets cleared down to the subatomic level and filled with pure Seraphim Blueprint energy. And that is it's like a fingerprint. It gets designed to you. So if you were to lose it one day and someone else were to come and pick it up, no harm could be done because they would not connect with it. For them, it would be like a dead rock. So it is only for you, and it is specifically customized to work with your energies. And so when I say it's been cleared down to a subatomic level, what that means is that all of the original attributes of what this crystal or mineral specimen was before it got programmed with Seraphim Blueprint, those attributes have been removed, and now it is pure. It's a pure gateway to Seraphim Blueprint and the grid, the angelic grid on the planet. So its healing power is phenomenal. And everybody creates their own relationship with their opener once they get it. Some people carry it with them every day. Some people wear it on their body. Some people only use it during meditation. Some people only use it when they're not feeling well. It just really depends on what kind of relationship you end up having with your opener. But it does come with you through your journey. You will bring it to your level 2 and beyond, because it helps bring a deeper connection into the channel. So inside of level 1, not only are you getting your life force and your harmonizer, but there are additional abilities inside of that. You can use the life force energy to energize and program your water, your food. You can create what's considered an angelic light grid inside of spaces. So think of it as like, you remember the grid paper we used to use? Well, I did interior design in my background, so I would always use the grid paper. But do you remember back in school when we would use it to plot our, geometry and things like that? Well, think about that, but in an esoteric way. And you're basically gridding out spaces with light, angelic light, and you can program those spaces with this healing. And it brings light and health and raises the vibration of your car and your home. And, there's all kinds of really cool ways to use those grids. You get to learn how to program crystals with the energy, that it's so unique that once you put this life force energy into your quartz crystals, you never need to clear them again. It becomes a constant flow of life force energy through those crystals. So they're constantly clearing and recharging themselves. So imagine what it's doing for your body. Once it gets attuned, once you get attuned and installed within your body like software in a computer, imagine what it's doing for you on a cellular level. It's constantly clearing, constantly upgrading, constantly restructuring. So it is, if you can't already tell how passionate I am about this, I do sincerely believe in the power of the structure of the Seraphim Blueprint and the powers that are within it to create a profound change in your life, a harmonious path to your full potential, and maybe the deepest connection with self and spirit that you could ever initiate. But like I said, I would get the book, read the book if you want to learn a little bit more, especially learn a little bit more about Ruth, the structure of the system. Oh yes, Amy, thank you. The network of like-minded souls that get to connect. This community is growing by leaps and bounds. And oh my goodness, what a network. It truly is an angel circle. I mean, the gifts, the connections, it becomes this amazing community that you can access at any point. And there's a deep trust that sets inside of this network because you know what the other person has gone through, the changes and the restructuring that they've gone through if they've also gone through the Seraphim Blueprint with you. And so there is this purity, this trust inside of that you know you're getting some of the highest vibrational channels inside of the people that you're working with. So it is an amazing community here on Long Island. Just through my network, we're at about 100 heads of our angels here, and growing all the time. I'm so excited and proud that looks like we're going to have at least 3, if not more, new teachers coming out of my crew. They're going to be headed down to North Carolina this April to take their teacher training, which I'm really excited about. That means that you're going to have access to more teachers right here in your own community. Okay, can you speak on how to connect to the Seraphim logo on the pamphlet? It says place your hand on it for up to 8 minutes. So the symbol itself, you can kind of see it on the back of the book here. The symbol itself has the vibration of the Seraphim Blueprint energy inside of it. So symbols, as we know, are very, very powerful, right? Reiki is built on symbols. So the symbol itself actually has the healing power within it. So it said that you can place your hand over the symbol and receive healing directly from that, or you can experience the vibration of Seraphim Blueprint right through the logo. It's often recommended that if you have pain in your body and on it, to actually put the symbol right on the pain. So a migraine, place it on the head, pain in the body, to place the symbol right there. You can also sit and meditate with it just to receive the balancing effect of the energy. So the Seraphim Blueprint logo is very powerful in and unto itself. And you actually do receive the logo to use inside of your level 1 class. And then as a teacher, you can actually use it on printed materials and things like that, on your business cards. So when you actually can give people the opportunity to feel and work with that energy, to see if it resonates with them. The other thing that I will tell you, and you're going to get to experience this through the live healing, is that this is an esoteric system. Okay. And in esoteric meaning, it is from the invisible realm made visible through our mortal form, right? So it's our connection, like I said, of our mortal finite universe and connection to the infinite, which is our God. This means that there is no time and space. There is no time and space inside of these energy systems, which means that at any given moment, even if you're watching this on the replay, you get to experience these energies as if it's happening right now. Because in that etheric realm, all time is now, and everything is happening in the now. And so this is why the distance classes, meaning your remote class, virtual classrooms via Zoom with me. And by the way, I took all of my classes were done over the phone. Back in 2014, my teacher was in Naples, Florida, Sandra McGill. And a couple of my other teachers were in Maryland. I took a class with someone in Las Vegas. At all of my classes in the beginning, until I was with Ruth, I didn't take a single one of my Seraphim Blueprint classes in person. They were all over teleconference. And the experience was still profound. So I do want to encourage you. I know it can be a turnoff for some people to go to something like this and experience it virtually over Zoom. But what I will tell you about the Zoom experience that I've actually become quite fond of is that you still are connecting with your group. I see it happen inside of groups where we'll be inside of an attunement and someone is pulling information in through their attunement for someone else in the class. The connections become very clear and very apparent. And not only that, but you also have your own space to be in for your attunement experience. You have to think about these energies dropping so deep within our bodies, inside of our DNA, unlocking old trapped emotions, old thought forms, these things that have been weighing us down and holding us back for so many generations, starts getting in there and loosening that stuff up and bringing it up for healing. So it is very possible that you would have an emotional purge, during an attunement. And the Zoom aspect is kind of cool because you get some privacy inside of that. I've had experiences in previous classes where we were working in person where people have actually gotten up and excused themselves from an attunement because the emotional surge of love or just movement of emotional energy overcame them. And that's a very normal experience to have inside of Seraphim Blueprint. It's very powerful. And so Zoom actually kind of gives us this nice opportunity to be in our own environment. But certainly I do not discount the connection of being in person and having that community happen. We all know how wonderful that is. But I just want you to know that you're not going to lose out by doing a virtual experience versus doing something in person. Okay, so that was something else that I wanted to talk about. So the April 17th class is via Zoom. This is actually a one-day class. I have been, over the last year, been teaching the courses a half day, so a 2-day course between a Saturday and a Sunday. But all of my dates are planned via my connection with the Seraph, and he does help me choose those dates. And he was very adamant that this was going to be a 1-day class. So I am listening, and we are doing April 17th. It is scheduled from 9 to 6. There is a break in the day. And sometimes we finish up a little sooner, just depends on the movement and the size of the class. But we will be gathering via Zoom for that. It is $225 for the class per person. And like I said, you get your 2 wavelengths and the attunements within those 2 wavelengths. And then you also get your opener. And at the end of level 1, you are considered a practitioner of Seraphim Blueprint healing. Okay, so it is level 1 is Seraphic healing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the transmission of healing at this time. I would ask that if you are in a situation where you are driving a car or something like that, I would ask that you actually don't receive at this time. I think that it's always better to allow yourself to be in a situation where you can at least close your eyes for a moment and tune into the body. Allow kind of that meditative movement of conscious thought to set in, moving a little bit more into theta. And it's just safer. We're never exactly sure how we're going to receive the energies when they are being transmitted. So it is it's a good idea that you not be driving the car while you are receiving this healing. So I would ask that you just go ahead and tune out, switch off the live, come back to it later, and do it when it's a little bit more of a safe time. Okay. So the first transmission that I'm going to do for you guys is the life force energy. And this tends to be the more masculine of the two. All I would ask you to do at this time is just wherever you are, even just put your phone down. You don't need to see me. You can just hear my voice and be guided through this experience. We do not need to be looking at our phone for this. So I ask you to just put your device down and just sit back wherever you are. Just close your eyes. You can put both hands over your heart. You can sit open palm. You can do the connection of the middle finger and the thumb if that's something you've been trained to do through your yoga. Just do whatever feels natural at this time to just allow the channel to open. and just breathe. We want to take a moment to just really focus on the breath, almost as if you're breathing in through the top of the head, allowing that inhale to fill the entire channel. And on that exhale, allowing the breath to move down the legs and into the feet. And just following that circuit of breath one more time. And you may even start to feel the bottoms of the feet tingle, the top of the head tingle, all normal. And now visualizing the bottoms of the feet, just kind of opening up. And just like a tree plants its roots deep into the earth, I'm going to ask you to allow your body to do the same thing. So just visualize those roots growing out from the bottoms of your feet and watch them dig themselves deep into our Mother Earth, connecting deep into her polarity. And that next breath that you take, inhale through the bottoms of the feet. Allow that earth energy to come into the body, moving up through the legs. So we've got this nice rhythm of movement from the crown to the feet. That next inhale in, I want you to breathe into the center of the chest. Breathing into that heart space. And now use that exhale as if you're breathing out through the heart. From the front and from the back. Breathing out, clearing out that heart space. And just allow yourself to stay in this place, honoring the body, mind, and heart. As I begin to send the life force energy to all of you from Seraphim Blueprint. Okay, I'm going to ask whatever position that you're in now to just go ahead and place both hands over the heart. Breathing into that heart chakra, into the center of the chest. Gently feeling the rise and fall of the chest itself. Feeling the heartbeat under the hands. Allowing this energy that you just received to circulate through the heart and through the body. Giving your body complete permission to receive this energy fully now that it has been placed inside of your cells. Knowing that this energy is intelligent and it is coming in at the level that is for your personal highest good and the highest good of all things. We're going to transition over to the Harmonizer Energy now, so just stay where you are, a couple of nice deep breaths. And I'm going to ask you now to do a different hand placement. I'd like you to keep your right hand over the heart, and I'd like you to move your left hand down over the navel. We're going to connect into that emotional center down inside the sacral chakra. The harmonizer is a balancer for our bodies, especially on that emotional level. It helps balance our mental, our emotional, and our physical bodies so that they can all be in coherence with one another. So joining that heart chakra and that sacral chakra, again, just breathe. Feeling that unified rise and fall of the belly and the chest. And allow yourself now to open to receive the Harmonizer wavelength from Seraphim Blueprint. Once again, I'm going to ask you to just take a couple of nice deep breaths, setting the intention that every breath will circulate this beautiful light-based healing through every cell in your body. That its effect is for your highest good and the highest good of all things in this day. And thank yourself for allowing yourself to have this experience and taking these few moments for your own health and well-being. And just gently, very gently bringing yourself fully back into the body before allowing yourself to come out of that meditative state. I'm so grateful for each of you that decided to tune in today to listen and learn a little bit about the Seraphim Blueprint and receive. Please don't think that you got to snap back into your body. If you can still hear my voice, you can stay in your comfy, relaxed place after receiving. I will leave you with just the final information. If this is something that you're interested in pursuing and that you'd like to take this class with me this April, you can contact me through a PM here on Instagram. You can message me here. I have the full class details outlined on my professional Facebook page. You can also receive information via email if you go to my website, jennyisrael.com, and subscribe to the newsletter. There'll be additional information that comes through about the class inside of my newsletter. And you can also access this video again and again. You watch it as many times as you like, since it will be available on the IGTV. I will probably also post this to my podcast and YouTube channel, just so people have multiple ways of accessing it. There is no registration link for this class. You just simply need to reach out to me to let me know that you're interested. And once you've paid in full, that is considered registration, and we can go over those details when you are ready to sign up. This is probably going to be my last level 1 of 2021. I am very excited about my new teachers that are coming forward. I'm very excited about the network that's going to be created through that. But I do want you to know that I do set my classes up. So once I have that level 1 in April, there will be an opportunity for you to continue on through the levels. I usually will schedule them 1 a month. So you have some opportunity to integrate the level that you just had before taking the next one. But between April and the end of 2021, I will be offering levels 1 through 6 one final time for the year. So if you have any other questions or concerns or anything like that, please feel free to, you can message me here. You can send me an email at jenny.israelcpc@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But I hope that you enjoyed this video today and receiving these energies. Love and light to all of you for the rest of your week and into the weekend. Happy spring. And thanks again for taking a little time out to be with me today for this. Love you guys.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to Soul Speak. I'm Jenny Israel, medical intuitive, energy healer, spiritual activator, counselor, and teacher. You can learn more by following me on Facebook or Instagram at Jenny Israel CPC. That's Jenny Israel, and then the letter CPC. If you would like to receive more messages from Spirit directly to your mailbox, visit jennyisrael.com, scroll down to the bottom, and subscribe to my newsletter. You can also contact me through my website or social media to set up a one-on-one session or to check out my upcoming spiritual development classes. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please help support my show by giving it a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts. Spirit and I will speak to you again soon. Blessings and light to all.